Most stubborn people who refuse to sell their houses. People spend the earnings of their entire life to construct a house of their own. For most families, their house is their most prized possession. Today, we are back with a video in which we will show you some of the most stubborn house owners from around the world who despite all odds refuse to vacate their houses at any cost. Number 1. Nail House. Back when China was undergoing several infrastructural changes, one such project was to build a 4-lane highway. The problem was that in the path of this highway, there was one society that needed to be vacated. Notices were issued to residents to vacate the building, but 3 families refused to do so. They said they will die, but will not move. Despite several attempts from the government, they didn't vacate the building. At last, the engineers constructed the highway in such a way that the building was not demolished. Number 2. Bojan. Friends, this story is again from China, where a man named Bojan refrained to sell his house to the government. The government was under the process of acquiring various properties that were on the location of a projected highway. Most of the people handed over their property to the government, but this man didn't. Later on, the government was left with no choice but to construct the highway around this house. Currently, this 4-story house stands in the middle of the highway. Number 3. Farm in the middle of Japanese airport. The Japanese government had an ambitious project of constructing an airport in the middle of the city. For this purpose, it started to acquire the landscape of several farmers. However, one of the farmers refrained to sell his land to the government. The airport was built meters from his farm, but still, he was unmoved and was not ready to sell his farm. The farm is still there, next to the airport. Number 4. Massey Field. A private businessman planned to build a mall in the city of Seattle. For this purpose, he acquired land from the people who were the owners of the land where the mall was proposed. An 84-year-old lady refused to sell her house to the builder. The mall owner still constructed the mall, leaving her house touching the boundaries of the mall. The mall soon came into the limelight for this reason. Later on, the lady before her death gave her house to the mall owner. Number 5. Yang. This man was a victim of the harassment from a rich builder. His land was in between the site where a builder was planning to construct a big apartment. Every other household gave their house to the builder. But this man Yang refused. The builder started construction on the rest of the land. In the process, the water and electricity connection of his house was cut. Still, this man stood his ground. He had to travel 1 kilometer to fetch water and was forced to live under candlelight, but despite all odds, he refused to sell his land. Friends, if you like this video, do not hesitate to share it with your friends. Keep sharing. Thanks for watching.